All right, y'all, give me just a few minutes to get all this IT stuff set up. All right, it looks like we're live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and I don't think my LinkedIn is live, but I'm gonna have to figure that one out in the future. So let's go ahead and get started though, because certainly I just want to say thanks for joining us. SOB, Small Owned Businesses. This is our first live. It's definitely not going to be a one and done. We are hoping to do this every Sunday at noon. So if you have nothing better to do, you don't have anything to do with your family or friends, please join us live here so that you could get the latest marketing news and information. And the reason we wanted to do this on a weekly basis is because we certainly know that as small business owners, you guys are just busy with a bunch of other stuff operationally and whatnot within your business. And if there's anything that we can help you with, a little heavy lifting that we can do for you, it's in the area of marketing. So let us do all the research. Let us bring you the latest information that we think needs to be on your radar. So then you guys just feel like you're prepared and in the know so that if you have to pivot in the future, you certainly could. So let's get started though. We have three key things before we jump into the three uh, just key topics that we want to talk about today. I do want to remind you guys that we have plenty of free resources out there for you. Just to give you the lowdown, every Monday we release a new marketing video over on YouTube. Every Wednesday we drop a new marketing podcast episode under the SOB Marketing Podcast. And then every Thursday and Friday, depending on how timely I am in putting together the emails, we release a weekly email centered around, you guessed it, marketing. And so if you're not on that email list, you definitely want to be. You can join by going to theseasonedmarketer.com and a nice little pop-up will come up and you can just enter your first name and your email address and get our weekly marketing strategies, tips, and information delivered to your inbox. And then now, since we're adding this new live every Sunday, you could come in here and join us as well. So let's go ahead and get started with our topics for today. So let me just double check, make sure everything's working fine. All right, looks good. So to get started, we're going to talk about Samsung. All right, so word has it that Samsung is going to be getting rid of Google as their default search engine on these Galaxy phones. Now you may be wondering, what else would they switch to, because Google is the largest search engine out there? Well, they're talking about switching over to Bing. If you're as surprised as I am when I first read that, that is pretty bizarre. I didn't even realize that Bing was still a player, but they certainly are. And so let me explain something that's pretty interesting. So first and foremost, Microsoft owns Bing. Microsoft also invested heavily in OpenAI. OpenAI are the people who brought us ChatGPT, which everyone and their mama is currently talking about and using right now. And so the reason that Samsung is considering dropping Google is because they feel that Bing is further ahead in their AI journey. And so they're going to be a little more intuitive as a search engine, and that they'll be bringing a lot more, features in that way. And so that's really interesting. I think that a lot of what I've read is that Samsung is not going to be able to go through with this simply because of their contract with Google right now, and so that's to be determined. They'll probably hash it out legally to figure out if that's even an option for them. But just so you know how massive of a shift this is, Google could stand to lose, I think the figures were $3 billion if Samsung decides to make the switch to remove Google as their default search engine on these Galaxy phones and instead replace it with Bing. They could lose $3 billion. So that's a lot of money. Um, the other thing, you may be thinking, well, I really don't care if Google loses that much money. What's that to me as a small business owner? But there are two key reasons that you're going to want to kind of see how this plays out. First and foremost, right now, as a small business owner, we tell you to go ahead and acquire two listings, right? So the first one is we tell you to go in and let's say you're a pizza shop, to go in and claim your Google business profile. And the reason we tell you that is because that is the default browser that everyone's using if they have an Android. And if you want to show up on the listing when someone types in restaurants near me, then you're going to have to go in and acquire that map location, your Google business profile. The other thing we tell you to do, the other listing that we tell you to acquire, is actually your Apple Maps, because on the Apple iPhones, that is their default browser if someone's going in and looking for restaurants near me. And so Chelsea and I have a really great story. This happened to us when we went on a trip to North Carolina. She's the one, my sister Chelsea, she's the one that really selects all the restaurants, the places that we go eat, because she's really good at it and I am not. And so she has an iPhone and I have an Android. Now, the place that she found, we would have never found it had they not acquired or gone in and filled out their Apple Maps listing, because she's on an iPhone. She's not going to use Google and look at Google. She's going to go on the Apple Maps app. And so that's really important right now as a small business owner. If you're not acquiring your Google business profile and your Apple Maps listing, then you may be missing out on potential customers. So keep that in your back pocket. And so let's say that Samsung goes through and actually replaces their default search engine to Bing, then potentially you may have to actually go in and acquire a third listing, whatever Bing uses, which I am not well schooled or versed in Bing, so I don't even know what that would look like. I would have to do research and come back to y'all with that information. So that's part of the reason that you, as a small business owner, definitely want to just be aware of those changes. All right, so the second reason that as a small business owner you want to kind of just be in the know about this transition, if it happens, is also because it means that it's giving us a temperature and a pulse on just where everything is heading. If Samsung is willing to drop the leading search engine for their phones to replace it with a Bing just because they think Bing is ahead on the AI spectrum, then that's a good indicator of how everything is going to be transitioning over the next couple of years. Your consumers are going to change. So just keep that in mind and be prepared for it. And don't let it be something that you don't get excited about, don't look forward to, and just kind of, ho and hum about. There's a lot of opportunity out there, but just know that your consumers are naturally going to evolve, because now these companies, these large companies like Samsung, are going to start to funnel them towards features that are more AI focused. And so that's something that we want to be prepared, and we want to be sure that we stay up to date. And so this live every week is going to be a great place for you to just come and be sure that you're getting all of the updated information. So we will update you once Google figures out, or once Samsung actually releases any details about whether or not they're going to go through with dropping Google as their default search engine app in their Galaxy phones. All right, so the second piece of news that we want to talk about is going to be Lemon 8. Now, I said Lemon 8, the number 8, not lemonade. All right. It is actually the newest app that BitDance has released here in the United States. And if you're thinking, I've never heard of BitDance, you actually have. So it's TikTok's parents, they own TikTok. And so a lot of people are saying that this is a very strategic thing that BitDance is doing in case TikTok gets banned here in the United States. And that probably has a lot to do with it, but I will say that Lemon 8, this new app, is actually not new. It's been around for 3 years in Japan, so it's just new to us here in the United States and like Canada. But they've been tinkering with it, they've been using it for a while. What's interesting about this app, if you're wondering what exactly it is or why we need a new app, I mean, we probably don't need a new social media platform, but what's interesting about it is that it's a mix of Pinterest and Instagram. And what I mean by that is it has the aesthetics of a Pinterest, and it's very much the same kind of look and feel to it when you're in the app, but it has the functionality of an Instagram, so you're able to do just a tad more. So what I've read, and I did create a Lemon 8 account for the Seasoned Marketer, and I'll tell you it's fine. It's not something I'm super jazzed about, just because I think to each their own. You guys have to find the apps that, or the social media platforms that you really love to be a part of and that you get excited about in order to post on there. But we will be doing a future YouTube video on what we found going in there and posting in that new Lemon 8 app. Now, and whether or not it helped us with any of our marketing initiatives. So, what's interesting is a lot of people are saying, a lot of the users on Lemon 8 are saying that they really love it because it's a great positive environment, and people are just really nice. That's wonderful. I guess they feel like people on TikTok are a little more toxic, which, I guess stands to reason. Probably depends on what you're looking at on TikTok and engaging with. But what I will say is that what's interesting is you really don't know the percentage of people that are there and there genuinely. And what I mean by that is Lemon 8 pushed out and invested so much money in hiring influencers to go in and create accounts on the new social media platform. And then they paid them to actually create videos on YouTube, on Instagram, and also on TikTok to promote the new app. So they're trying to get people off of these other social media platforms onto the Lemon 8 app. And I just don't know. You don't know what percentage of people that are using it are actually there because they want to use it, or if they're there because, BitDance paid them. So that's always interesting to me personally. The other thing I will say is, you know, it does look like it's something that people are keeping up with. They're super engaged. They're getting a lot of reach right now. So if you're looking as a small business owner to add another social media platform, as if you don't have enough to do already to your daily to do, then Lemonade may be the place to go. But I did also, there was one other thing I wanted to mention about this new social media platform, and it is that they have made no qualms about who their target audience is on the app and who their users are, and their users have a very niche down target audience. And so what I mean by that is they have flat out in all of their marketing materials, the presentations that they were giving to businesses before they actually launched it here in the United States, they were very specifically saying that their target audience of users was going to be females anywhere from like the ages of 18 to like I think 24 or something, people that were interested in fashion and beauty and that lived in major cities like Los Angeles and New York. So, as a small business owner, if those aren't the people you're trying to reach, then I don't know that Lemonade is going to give you any additional opportunities to try to capture new customers. So keep that in mind. Now, moving on to our next topic, this is our last one, and it is that LinkedIn is actually expanding their AI tools. Now, this in particular is interesting because if you remember, I was just telling you about how Samsung is potentially going to be dropping Google as their default search engine app and replacing it with Bing, that is owned by Microsoft. Microsoft, who also invested a lot of money into OpenAI, OpenAI, who brought us ChatGPT, that is so popular right now. Well, guess who owns LinkedIn? Yeah, none other than Microsoft. So if you wonder why LinkedIn is becoming so focused on generating these AI features for people to use, it's because Microsoft feels like they are leading the way in AI and they have this figured out. And so they're thinking, how else can we probably repurpose this, right? So you're probably gonna see a lot more of this over on LinkedIn. But the features that I particularly want to talk about today that they told us they were releasing recently are going to be ones that are heavily focused on job recruitment. So one of them is targeted towards users, right? So LinkedIn profiles. And basically, if you've ever struggled to come up with a good about section, so you know the section that recruiters are looking at when they're first coming on your profile, if you've ever struggled to come up with a really great way to present yourself and to present your strengths and your experience, well, this is what the AI tool is going to help you with. So basically, according to LinkedIn, they're saying that it's going to be available to premium users at first, and that basically it says our tool identifies the most important skills and experiences to highlight in your about and headline sections and crafts suggestions to make your profile stand out. By doing the heavy lifting for you, the tool saves you time and energy while still maintaining your unique style and voice. So that's going to be really interesting as a business owner. I don't know how I feel about that, kind of knowing that the about statement isn't going to be something that a person has crafted themselves, but they've had a little help from AI. I don't know, you guys tell me if that's just a me thing or if that's something that, obviously you're okay with. But so let's go ahead, and the second part of this AI feature, as I mentioned, that's going to be for users. The second part is actually going to be for recruiters, people who are looking for employees or team members using LinkedIn. And it's going to help you be able to type up the job description. And so what they're telling you is if you put in there your job title, your company name, and a few of the responsibilities. Quote, LinkedIn says, our tool will then generate a suggested job description for you to review and edit, saving you time and effort while still giving you the flexibility to customize the post to your needs. So they supposedly said they're trying to streamline the hiring process so that, quote, you can focus your energy on more strategic aspects of your job. So that's very nice of you, LinkedIn. Thank you. You know, everybody's busy and we have a ton of other stuff to do. But let me know if you find any of this interesting. If anything, I think the takeaway for today is that AI is here to stay. Microsoft is flexing their muscles, and I'm sure we're going to be, having a lot more discussions in the future here about some of these AI tools that everybody is launching. So very, very interesting stuff. Do want to remind you that if you guys are looking for free marketing resources, that is what we are here to do at The Seasoned Marketer. So you can find us on any of the social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, all that good stuff under The Seasoned Marketer. So thanks again for tuning in on a Sunday at noon. And that was a pretty quick wrap up, but hope you found and got some interesting information and news and stuff that you can get excited about.